Here is a new and refreshing offer for our esteemed audience across the globe. The new AIT Cloud TV is an online streaming service that offers you attractive opportunities to view our rich, exciting, and entertaining programs anytime, anywhere. AIT Cloud TV is available on the web on www.ait.app, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Android TV. You can also download the mobile app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Simply connect to the internet, download the app, register, and watch live or catch up on unlimited hours of exciting shows. AIT Cloud TV. TV on the go.
I would like to send my condolence to the family of High Chief Raymond Dokpesi and the entire staff of DAAR Communications. The news of his passing on hit me as a rude shock. He was indeed a legend, a man of honor. It was a great privilege meeting him while we were shooting the series Palace, which was aired on AIT. It was produced by Mr. Ralph Mwadike and directed by Mr. Tunji Bamshebi. Most of the domestic locations were in his house, and he made sure we had everything we needed to make the series a success. He built a platform which has helped me as a young actor, not just me, but a lot of talent out there. It is so sad that he's gone, but he has really impacted in the life of a lot of people. May his soul rest on.
My deepest condolences to the family of High Chief Raymond Dokpesi and the entire staff of DAAR Communication. Indeed, a great man is gone. Sir Raymond Dokpesi was a humanitarian of high repute. His eagerness to see the youths grow is quite commendable. I remember when I was a cast on the popular TV series Palace on AIT. We shot a lot of scenes in his house, and I can say that Sir Raymond was really accommodating. He was very open to all the cast and crew, and we did everything seamlessly without any problem. The world has just lost an angel. We are already missing you, sir. Rest in peace till we meet again to part no more. We love you.
Here is a new and refreshing offer for our esteemed audience across the globe. The new AIT Cloud TV is an online streaming service that offers you attractive opportunities to view our rich, exciting, and entertaining programs anytime, anywhere. AIT Cloud TV is available on the web on www.ait.app, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Android TV. You can also download the mobile app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Simply connect to the internet, download the app, register, and watch live or catch up on unlimited hours of exciting shows. AIT Cloud TV. TV on the go.
Do Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name, with all the handles on our website ait.live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air, online, online.
Oh my God. What kind of ailment is this boy suffering from? A very smart and brilliant boy, suddenly becoming ever sickly. God, this boy's mom put him in my care. Nothing must happen to him. Absolutely nothing. Now, David and Tunji, stay aside. Let him have some fresh air. Raymond, what are we going to do now? We have done all the best we could. Food, medicine, here. You refuse.
Senhor Fidelis, I will be okay.
Hey, Raymond, don't hide under your sickness. This is Loyola. No senior. Brothers, as you know.
I'm so sorry, Brother Fidelis.
See,
I will be fine.
Raymond, that will be at home. I have got an exit paper for you to go home.
No. I can't go home. I have examinations in the next 2 weeks. I can't go home.
Hey, boy. You can only write your exam when you are well and alive. David, and you, Tunji Makinde, you will take him home. I have trials for the Western Region Academical Selection this afternoon. Tell his mom I will visit their place later in the evening today or tomorrow morning.
God, oh my God. Why this strange illness?
Raymond, you will be well. You, David, tell Dele Fajamirokun and Lanre Ogunlesi to tidy up the dormitory. See you, boys. Sorry.
Raymond, you're still reading. It is past 2 in the morning. You're supposed to be sleeping. And you know you are sick. Please go to bed now.
No, sister. I have exams in 2 days' time. I have to study.
Raymond, I know. But it is past 2 in the morning. Adekwe, EBKB.
Sister Felicia. Ipò ọlá dára o. Ipò ọlá dára o. Ipò yẹn wù mí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Mo ṣì máa dé ibẹ̀ o. N ò kọ̀ kó ná mi lówó. N ò kọ̀ kó ná mi láṣọ. Má dẹni àtàtà, má dẹni ọlọ́lá. Orí bá ń jọba lọ́la o. Mo ṣì máa dé ibẹ̀ o. Orí bá ń jọba lọ́la o. Mo ṣì máa dé ibẹ̀ o.
Well, no more. You.
The popular maxim goes that he who God does not kill, no one can kill. Such is the same with High Chief Dr. Raymond Aleogo Anthony Dokwesi. To know a man completely is said not to be enough until you know where he is coming from. Agenebude is a sprawling town of civil servants, fishermen, and mainly Catholic Christians and Muslim communities. A town divided by the River Niger to the west, and on the east, Ida in Benue State of Nigeria. A community blessed with the influx of the early missionaries, where even the very old speaks very good Queen's English. It is on this ground, now housing this church and the school, at what used to be number NW5/195 at Damasingba in Ekotedo area of Ibadan, in the present-day Oyo state of Nigeria, and about 300 kilometers away from Agenebude, that the scion of Chief Williams Ayaogena and Madam Alice Aishatu Dokwesi was born.
I was born at Damasingba, Ekotedo, Ibadan, on the 25th of October 1951. As a young, grown-up boy, I had a lot of challenges with my health. And at the height of it, I had challenges with speech up till I was about 12 years old. But in spite of that handicap, I should state that the fact that I started my primary school education at Ebenezer African Church School, Ikotedo, Ibadan, and thereafter I gained admission to Loyola College, Ibadan. I indeed gained admission to several other institutions of at the basic secondary school level, including St. Finbar's in Lagos here, St. Gregory's College in Lagos here, Government College, Ibadan, but I had to go to Loyola College, Ibadan. From Loyola College, Ibadan, because of my continuing deterioration in health, I had to come to Immaculate Conception College, Benin City in 1967. So I had the privilege and honor of attending Immaculate Conception College, Benin City, and thereafter I proceeded at what is today Auchi Polytechnic. It was also Midwest Technical College at that time, where I had my very first introduction to engineering. And I was a foundation student of what is today the University of Benin. It was then Midwest Institute of Technology. When the Midwest Institute of Technology, as it was then called, was set up by the then governor of Midwest region, Major Osaigbovo Gbemudia, I was one of the first students that went in, and I must say that it was a very brilliant experience, university education. That was my only interaction and stint with higher education in Nigeria. It was short-lived. I thereafter had the Nigerian Post Authority scholarship to go to University of Southampton, London. I went to University of Southampton and got a directive from the Chief Training Officer of the Nigerian Post Authority at that time that I should relocate from Southampton to Poland, where I was going to go for a straight master's degree course. So I went to the Wyższa Szkoła Morska at that time, which is Maritime Academy as it were, and finished my master's education with a distinction, first class, my first degree, first class, my master's with a distinction. And I think that was the opening of the flood of successes that I thereafter came across. I went ahead to the University of Gdańsk, Sopot, where I finished my doctorate degree in marine engineering economics. And by the time I finished, I had the privilege to both lecture and was also finalizing my doctorate thesis. I was admitted because my ambition at that time was to be a professor at most at the age of 30. Had started my dissertation for a DSc course at that time, when in 1977, the then head of state, Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Olusegun Obasanjo, came on a visit to Poland. He directed at that time that I should return to Nigeria before the 16th of November, 1977.
In Poland, while he was a student, he met Elizabeth, who later will become his wife and bear him Aishatu and Raymond Jr.
On his 60th birthday, I wish him from the bottom of my heart good health and favor, and I pray every day for all of you and the whole family. For me at my age, I can only pray, happy birthday. Thank you, and I wish you a happy return trip to Nigeria, and that all your plans work out well.
Raymond Dokpesi's academic records till date are yet to be broken in these universities, and his brilliance is also attested by schoolmate in Poland, Dr. Shupo Ali Balogun.
He buried himself into his book and was always reading. That is why he was able, at a very, very fast period, at the age of 26, to get his doctorate degree. Until today, it is still on record in his university that he was able to finish his doctorate at that young, tender age of 26.
These attributes he has since carried into his present life.
Raymond Dokpesi, if you stay with him, whoever you are, you will never find him wanting. He is always somebody ready, prepared to ensure assignment given to him not only fulfill, but he excel. If I made him to do anything, if he cannot finish it, he sleep there. Several times I felt him sleeping on his desk, really sincerely, because he couldn't finish an assignment given to him. He doesn't want to come back to tell me he cannot do it. If I say, Raymond, I say, this is what I want. You know, to me, with Raymond, consider it done. That we call him. consider it done. Once it is Raymond Dokpesi, consider it done.
Whether it was urban transport or rail transport, which was very important to us, or just the movement of goods on road, or airport development, or regulation of flights, Dokpesi made a contribution. It's not a matter of what he learned. He has natural ability, superior natural ability, and he has inquisitive mind, curious. Anything you bring, he just imposes that powerful searchlight from his brain on the subject and gives you what you want from him.
I have worked closely with him, related closely with him for the past 18 years. And I can tell you, there are not too many Nigerians like him. Brilliant, committed, very sincere, true to his word, reliable, dependable, passionate about anything he's convinced about. He's not afraid to take a stand. And when he takes a stand on any issue, he doesn't lack the guts or courage to defend it.
I think he's naturally endowed. Because I tell you one thing, Raymond never forgets anything. Because if you do him good, Raymond will not forget. If you do him anything, no matter whatever, he will not forget. I think he has a tremendous retentive memory. That is a gift of God.
Raymond represents the new breed Nigerian. New breed in what sense? He has a good grasp of our cultural values and philosophy of our elders, and he has also a good grasp of the modern trend in life in this country. There has been a lot of transformation between when we were kids and today. Raymond has blended what we have learned, our cultural heritage, with what today is Nigeria demands of the up and coming man.
I've just finished my school start when Raymond came in. I was in my lower six, and he came in as a very young boy. The mother brought him. Well, when the mother saw me, he handed him over to me. He said, please look after my son. Not long after we saw Raymond's mother coming back, I said, Baba, I hope no problem. He said, no. He said, I have a feeling that, he said, you have a place where mothers can stay in the college premises so that they can be cooking for Raymond. So we all laughed to say, Mama, no, we have a good catering department. They are going to take care of him. I think it's the only son syndrome. We were brought up in that tradition of the school move to the truth. And Raymond will always speak the truth. In fact, if you want to tell lies, don't bring Raymond in, because you'll not be able to sustain those lies.
You, Dr. Raymond Dokpesi, very reliable, very dependable, the last man standing on any issue if any of his friends are in any problem or they're facing some challenges. As a friend, he's a man of his words. He's a man you can rely on. He's a man who says yes, it is yes. Who says no, it is no. Sometimes he can be persuaded, but he's a man of very strong character. As a friend, he doesn't look down on anybody. He is a friend of the low and the mighty. He does not discriminate on basis of religion, your status, strata. He's a friend to everybody, Muslim, Christian, traditional religion, anybody.
He is a very intelligent man. He is very courageous, very determined, very perseverant, very big-hearted in the way he deals with issues. He's a deep thinker. He has a very deep personality. It is not everything that he does that should be taken at a superficial level. Usually there are some kinds of guiding morals and principles behind each of his actions.
Raymond is a free thinker. He's an intellectual contradiction. In the area of religion, perhaps the contradiction also comes in more into religion. Because how would you describe a man who observed the Christian fast and the Muslim fast almost to a point of fanaticism? So the contradiction comes in handy there. But in the area of business, you can't have a Nigerian that's more daring than Chief Dr. Say. You can't have a person that is ready to lay his life on the line for what he believes in. For truth, for the defense of truth.
His station was not the first on air, but he easily is number one in the private participation in the broadcast industry in Nigeria. In terms of number of stations, in terms of living, everybody considers Lagos as a commercial nerve center of Nigeria. So everybody considers Lagos as a comfort zone when it comes to doing business. But he is the first person to move out of Lagos, move around and have stations virtually in all corners. High Chief Raymond Dokwesi, it's several things to several people. Some see him as a politician, some see him as a businessman. But we see him as a pioneer in the broadcast industry. We see him as somebody who believes in the industry and who spends his savings to ensure that the show goes on in the industry.
Chief Dr. Raymond Dokwesi is the only male child of his mother amongst 6 other female children.
I will say it's a great joy to the family, that is, to my mother especially, and my dad. Because all along, my mother had all girls, and we were expecting a male child. And he came in at a period we lived.
And welcome to AIT News Studio on Africa Independent Television. It's the day the founder and chairman emeritus of DAAR Communications, High Chief Raymond Dokwesi, will be committed to Mother Earth. It's a sad day for us at DAAR Communications. My name is Uju Eji.
And I am Shola Jayesimi. The remains of the late media magnate arrived at his hometown on Wednesday at Agenebode ESAC, or East Local Government Area of Edo State, South Nigeria, and was received by his kinsmen. A vigil mass was held in his honor and other traditional rites at his residence.
Shola, it was quite a crowd that received him yesterday. Was quite a huge crowd that welcomed his body in Agenabode yesterday. I saw some of his sisters crying. I saw the children. I saw quite a lot of staff of DAAR Communications. And then the people, I mean, you're quite familiar with Agenabode, and you know what happens anytime he landed in town, and it was even more this time.
Well, the people of that town, his hometown, of course, we all know he was born in Ibadan, spent the early part of his life in Ibadan. But of course, home will always be home. And the people turned out in their thousands, I would say, right from the beginning of that town up until the center of the town. We saw them lined up, welcoming someone home, someone who they regard as a father, a grandfather, and someone who touched the lives of so many of his own people. Though we all know High Chief is not just a pan-Nigerian, but a pan-Africanist, the people of that town.
Talking about Agenabode, he gave, I don't know how to put it so that it won't be seen as blaspheming. He virtually, or God used him to give life to a lot of people. He was the source of livelihood of a lot of them, people who never imagined that they could amount to anything in life, people that you could see as, you know, not having a chance. He gave them opportunities, he gave them the chance to fly, he gave them the chance to be who they can be.
Exactly. So that's why they turned out in their hundreds. That's on the screen there. The first son of High Chief, Raymond Jr., and lots of other family members, his wives, his sisters, they all thronged his home for that brief lying in state.
There were also a lot of people that I saw who were people whose lives he impacted, some from Nollywood, you know, some presenters on TV and radio, people who came with programs and didn't know how to put them on air. And he said, look, after looking at the purpose, please give him airtime. He was like that. A lot of them could never have afforded 1 naira to push their programs. So long as he saw that those programs could make impact, those programs had meaning, he put them on air. I saw a lot of them yesterday. I saw a lot of them from different walks of life, not just even the media. They were there.
Yes, High Chief's philosophy was basically, can you do it? Does it fit into the philosophy of what I want for AIT? Projecting Africa, projecting its values, projecting its people. If that's the product you
seeing
have,
the world from the eye of the African.
Exactly. He ensured that it went, irrespective of commercial considerations. So he built many people, and many of them thronged Agenabode to, some of them probably their first time in that town, but they said, look, we need to go see a man that we know has done a lot, not just for them, but for what those people had to do in terms of content for the African audience.
I know somebody who called me and said, look, what we are hearing about your boss, I've never met him, but we watch TV every day since he died, and we see people crying, saying a whole lot of things about him. He said, Kai, if he has the means, he will be in Agenabode, if only to have a peek at him before he's committed to Mother Earth. And then talking about building people, there were people whose visions were not even related to what he you know, to his own vision. They were not related to his own dreams, but he just saw that those people needed a break, and he gave it to them.
That's High Chief for you. So it's a day that many are very sad, but we are in high spirits. Why? Because we're celebrating a very great man. Since Monday, we started this telecast from our new studios here. This was a project that, you know, I'm looking all around myself here, and Uju is also here. If we give you a panoramic view of this studio, you say, yes, High Chief really put his whole heart into broadcasting.
And this was the project he was working on before he passed. I just pray that God would help us so that if the dead can see, he would be proud of us. Shortly, we'll be taking you to his hometown, Agenebodi, where a funeral mass will be taking place at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church at 11 o'clock, and interment will take place at St. Peter's Grammar School, Agenebodi, Edo State.
So for now, let's take a look at his life and times. We've said a little about it in our prefix, but we have joining us to give their perspectives some persons who are quite close to High Chief. One of them is Shehu Gabam. He's right here in the studios. He's a political associate to High Chief Raymond Dokpese.
And we have Alaba Yusuf, who was also his political associate. These were men who sat with him almost on a daily basis, who dreamed with him, visualized with him, and they are here. You're welcome to the studio.
Great pleasure, thank you.
Let's start with Alhaji Gaydam. What would you have to say at this point in time? It's quite a sad day, isn't it?
Well, it's a very, very shocking moment for all Nigerians. High Chief Raymond Dokpese is an international figure. It's a collateral loss to the entire country. It's a collateral loss to the political class, to the media organizations, and to people who have no voice. I know him not very closely as early as when Repa was launched in Lagos. Yeah. But eventually we become very, very close with him, especially at the time when the former President Babangida relaunched his political beats.
That's 2011.
Yes, he was the DJ of that campaign. I was in charge of contact and mobilization nationwide. And that really brought us extremely very close because he find me as somebody he wants to work with. And we related extremely very close. I've been to Agenebodi almost 3 to 4 times with him. We have traveled around the state of Nigeria. I accompany him commissioning AIT offices nationwide. He also visited me in my village. That's how close we are. My family knows him too well, and almost all the family knows me very well, you know. And on that fateful day, I was leaving the Eagle Square when I received a lot of calls from the AIT. And then Mark Amarere also called me, and I picked the call, and I could remember vividly, central area. I said, your friend is in bad shape. Your friend is like, he's gone. I said, what are you saying? Can't believe it. So I rushed over to this place. And I couldn't believe that High Chief Raymond is no more. This is one man who have the courage, who have the tenacity to fight death if there's anything like fighting death. And I know a couple of times we traveled with him outside the country on health ground. He fought it all through, he survived it. All I can say is that Nigeria needs such caliber of people to keep the country going, to keep the country together, to integrate the country and develop new generation with a new thinking, with a new sense of patriotism and commitment, hard work, you know, to the country. Look at the investment he has brought on board. And despite the attempt to sabotage, to discourage him, to subdue him, he's a one man that doesn't accept anybody to subdue him.
He was quite resilient.
He is. He's extremely very, very resilient. And once he finds you within that category with a strong mind, he will always be with you. So we worked very closely. We fought extremely hard to make PDP one of the biggest platforms. We were part of so many committees with him. We organized the first PDP conference in history. Me and him, we initiated it. When PDP was going down, we organized a parallel structure of the party. We ended up with caretaker committee. It is so forth that started driving the process. So he's somebody who wants to see something moving on. It doesn't like a dull moment at all, like you have mentioned. When I lost my dad, he was among the first to visit me at home. So he's somebody who is very close to me indeed. We had political break because we are a different political party, but we are one family. You know, our relationship is beyond politics. It's a family thing. So it's a great loss to Nigeria, and indeed, I don't know how that is committed. Yes, that's a bridge.
My deepest condolences to the family of High Chief Raymond Dokpesi and the entire staff of DAAR Communication. Indeed, a great man is gone. Sir Raymond Dokpesi was a humanitarian of high repute. His eagerness to see the youths grow is quite commendable. I remember...
Good morning, Nigerians. Sadness should not be it, because if we view, if we are to see what has been happening in the couple of days gone past, we realize that the High Chief that I call Diamond Raymond, he has made dying a fanciful thing, because some people will die, not up to 10 people will know them. They will come they will go as they came. But I've been to Agenebodo. It was the rainbow from the riverside town of Agenebodo, and it became a global citizen. It was a bulldozer of a kind. Today, I published an article which I titled Dokpesi Diamond Media Mogul Raymond Goes Home. In it, a lot of things were captured. It was an idea, a positive idea purveyor, very innovative, accommodating, dynamic. In fact, it was an enigma. But it was urbane, same way it was humane. So it encompassed a lot of things. You know, he had the charisma, he had the presence of mind, and the essence of living, which is replicating your leadership in others. That's why we're here. So for me, it's a day to celebrate, because the tears will never be enough, but after the tears, after the mist, there should be a clear sky. What is important now, I was listening to Lagbaja interview earlier on, and where he said, the job is now. So the people left behind should now do the job. Like I said on Tuesday, I've been to Sky studio, I've been to CNN studio, I've been to BBC studio. None of them can outmatch what is here. For him to be thinking of a 24-hour news studio, then, you know, but everybody knew. But he was a man who was grossly misconstrued. You see, in politics, I'm not a politician per se, I'm a PR-tician. I create political understanding, I'm a public relations person. But I worked all my life with politicians since 1981, including Fashionality. He was my commissioner in 1981. Yes.
The former governor of...
Yeah, he was commissioner for finance in Ondo State under the late Pa Ajasin in 1982-83. So we sat at the feet of the great Awo. But politics then is different from politics now. That's why I'm happy. My friend that is here, the last time I saw him was 19 years ago. I just saw him and I said, I've been to your house before. Yeah. So what is there is that I like it when people, like-minded people, that's the definition of political party, like-minded people coming together to wrestle for power, attain the power, and share in improving developing community or nation. But now, people, like somebody said, is stomach infrastructure address. But give it to the High Chief. He was emeritus in every way. You can think of it every way. For a man who is gender, for me, because he was gender sensitive, I've brought myself to be gender submissive. The High Chief did so much for women. Embodied them in a way that, most of the women begged, let's say, as a baker now, figuratively, the women begged by High Chief. When they talk at meetings, you look twice. You have to be sure of yourself before you talk to them. And there are many. One of them is Chonaya that I've known ages ago. People like Jumobi, my friend's wife, RMD. Yeah, so many. Uju, all of them, when they talk, these are, So what we're saying essentially is that I wish people will go back and have a look and do self-assessment of themselves. How would you like to be remembered?
Let's come to Ajigedam. Politically, you were his associate. I had distinguished Senator Uche Kunife and Honorable Nkoyo Toyo speaking the other day. And what they said, like Salaba said just now, said he built a lot of women. Uche Kunife said she owes a lot of the success in her political career to High Chief. Same thing with Honorable Nkoyo Toyo. Well, you can tell us more.
Yeah, we are all contemporaries. We are all very close. We've been having endless meetings, of pushing what is fair for everybody. The senator from Anambra State, she's a very close friend of mine for a very long time. The same thing, Okoyo. Look, I don't know if I can recall the quality of contribution we have made to make the country move forward, politically, economically, socially. The bravery that was displayed and the kind of contribution and the openness of High Chief Raymond Dakwasi to accommodate and provide peace. And of course, whatever that everybody needs, the eateries, the drinks, and what have you, is one man that you can define. When you are defining a human being, you can't come to him and sit down. The first thing he will ask you, what do you want to take? What do you want to eat? These are distinctive things that have to deal with humanity, that is deep-rooted in him. Number two, he will allow you to add your own opinion, no matter how sensitive the issues are. He is very thorough. He allows people to ventilate. And even if there's a disagreement, within a short period of time, we'll draw back to what we need to do. Face the reality, deal with it squarely, and make sure that we achieve progress. I was the DJ of his campaign when he went to run the chairman of the PDP. We traversed Nigeria day and night, every state of the federation. When we thought it through, he said, look, let me honor President Jonathan. Let me organize a reception for him, because there's an assignment me and him we are doing for President Jonathan. And I said, he has lost the election. He said, yes, it's the reason why we should honor him. So he organized a reception for him here.
We were part of that.
Yes, so we started that, and I'm happy the way President Jonathan appreciated that uniqueness, that thoughtfulness of a great man.
It is said that it's at such moments that those who are true.
Exactly. There's no way it can go out of the mind of the former President Jonathan. It was remarkable, it was unique, it was something that any human being would wish to have at his difficult moment. And that was a difficult moment for President Jonathan, like he admitted. He thought that was the end of it for him. And somebody revived him completely, like somebody who is in ICU, and all of a sudden you are walking and then you are moving all over the place. And I know a number of issues that we have done, including a lot of ideas, including this building. I was part of it from the scratch. We started it from scratch, you know, to where it is today. So it's an endless something for you to mention a great man who believes in Nigeria, who is patriotic, and he gives in all his energy if he wants something. He doesn't believe in half-baked operations. He believes everything should be done perfectly well. If there's any perfection, you can describe Raymond as a perfect man, but God have not created perfection, but he is super excellent in whatever he does. It takes a creative and genius to create this kind of establishment, given the fact that he's a marine engineer, migrated into broadcasting, and look at the magnitude, look at the specials, look at the kind of very audacious project that is live and direct. So like a lot of people have said, yes, physically you cannot see him, but every day you will hear about him, you will see what he has done, what he has impacted on the citizens, not his tribe, not his religion, but across the length and breadth of Nigeria.
Let me bring in Akinoko Alabaisi. Akinoko, the area of fighting for democracy, I want you to take us back a little, because we recall a number of times when some felt there was an onslaught against the media. I see my high chief, chair of this organization, leading people on protest, peaceful protest to national assembly. Say, look, why do you want to formulate such laws to guard the press? Can you give us your perspectives on that aspect of his life?
You see, like in the write-up I did, I said that there's no way, if he's a military officer or someone in the armed forces, there's no way you finalize his history without giving the epaulet of defender of democracy. Go back to the confab.
2014.
2014. Everything that he said then are the things we are still fighting for today. That we're still looking forward to. I mentioned a particular situation in 2015 when I was in charge of media coordination for the president-elect, Buhari then. And I was bringing the media into the conference room, and a particular correspondent here, BBA something, BBA or something like that, yes. And he was not allowed to enter because they said the position of AIT and Ray Power, because they oppose...
That's a BBA.
Yeah, that they oppose the candidacy of Buhari. As a result of that, the protocol and security people prevented AIT not to enter. And
yeah.
I took offense. I ran to the vice chairman of the party, then Engineer Oni, former governor of Ekiti State, and he went to the chairman, Oyegu. So, what happened was that the high chief, some people are just saying, if they don't want coverage, leave them. But he came on air, he pressed down the pedal and said, oh, now, are they thinking that I'm committing treasonable felony? Do they think I want to kill the president? I'm only doing I'm for fairness, justice, I stand for democracy. And talking about marching with people, he was always ahead of his brand. And anything that he represented, he stood for whatever you think is righteous, in quote. You cannot categorize him as a Christian or Muslim or traditionalist. So, in his own case, he was one man who never saw anybody as an underdog. In fact, he was more on the side of the underdog than the big ones. But he spoke truth to power. Even though he was part of the power. You understand me? He was a capitalist with make of human kindness. That's the kind of person that he was. So, for him, he was never afraid. How many times have they threatened to demolish his establishment? How many times have the company been shut down? And he will agree, but he will always find it like water. You always
They will
find a
fight
way
back.
around. Yeah, you find a way around it. So, like I said before, it's just a diamond or remote.
I remember once he went on a one-man protest. He didn't even ask for anybody. He went to embassies all on his own. Of course, there were people that went with him, but it was a one-man protest. And that showed the stuff he was made of, resilient, dogged. He would fight for whatever he believed in. You
So
can see
maybe-
the church service is getting ready right now.
As a word rather to what you have said, the credit goes to High Chief Raymond Dokasi for that national conference. We traveled across the length and breadth of Nigeria and collected high-profile names that can be part of that national conference. We put it in a booklet and give it to President Jonathan. We led the foundation. He was the driver. We went everywhere, you know, everybody that matters. We reach out to them because as of then we are trying to build a country with a common thinking, common understanding, despite our diversity, that the greatness of Nigeria is coming together, discuss vital issues, and sorting out things that are dividing us more. So it's a miracle.
Let's just let you see what's happening now in Agenebode. The procession is moving gradually towards the church. The service is scheduled to start at 11 a.m. and they're already moving there.
Yeah, that's the hearse bearing High Chief Raymond Dokasi, leaving his residence, the procession to the church. It's a big town, but you know the distance on some of these locations are not too far from one another. The motorcade there. Yes. Okay.
Okay, the motorcade is making its way to the premises of St. Peter's Grammar School. That's what we're seeing. And of course, that's where the funeral mass we hold. Right, just before the church service starts, meanwhile, keep watching. As soon as they get to the church, of course, we'll be joining in the funeral mass. But let me quickly ask Mr. Laba Yusuf Akinrogun, you remember one of the things he would be remembered for politically is the issue of the third term agenda was scuttled through him. And that was because he believed in upholding the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Constitution did not allow for a third term. What would you say about that move of his?
I still refer back
recorded
to
for history.
I still refer back to my article. There's a paragraph on that he dug the grave with bare hands and media muscles of the third term agenda, presidential bid of one of the former presidents. About glitch now. That's the kind of thing you would not like. If somebody has won, I don't think it was against anybody person in particular. He showed that, okay, these are the rules, follow the rules. And like I also referred to, it was loyalty personified. He was our leader in the Article Media Group. Many a time we had meetings in his house. The 2011 IBB campaign, we were, myself, February, Kazim, we were in the media and publicity committee. He comes with, you know, the way he moves like a president, an American president, entourage. But there are his own cars, there is his own stuff. He works so hard, but like I said, his philosophy of life was more or less like WFW, that is work, fun, work. If you work hard, he allows you to enjoy yourself to the maximum. That was him. But if you cross his path, he will crush you like a bulldozer. But he never begrudged anyone.
Correct.
So, like what I was saying is that Nigeria as a country, because we should not forget that the High Chief brought home his experience from Poland. Nigeria should tap on the benefits of what you call gain drain, but now that's a brain gain of Nigerians abroad. India was developed by Indians abroad. Ireland was developed by Irish abroad. Israel was developed by Israelis, the Jews abroad. Nigeria should allow Nigerian diaspora to be part of developing Nigeria. I'm a returnee, and I know the obstacles. Always, people tell you that why do you come back? Where you can eat free apple, this and that, you have steady light. So, like the High Chief was saying, people should come home and develop. Look at Kenneth's music. KK and Adine and Co. You can see what they have done. Practical people.
Bisi Olatilo show.
Everybody.
CKN.
I listen to Madam Tayo Omoto show. I listen to a lot of people. See, you say one tree cannot make a forest.
Correct.
Rubber tree can make a forest. If you plant one rubber tree, it disperses like that. And that's what remote democracy was. So the government itself and many people, I think we should back to basics. Home. Who can you groom? Whatever you do for your people, for your family is your duty, but whatever you do for an outsider is charity. Let us use charity to return sanity to humanity.
Sheikh Gabam, the issues are because Alaba Yusuf mentioned if you disagree with him, he still draws you close. And I'm bringing this up because you were strong members of the PDP together.
Yes.
You are now a national chair of the SDP,
yes.
and you are still so close to High Chief.
Yes.
Can we relate to that?
And if I may quickly add, because I was going to say, how exactly would you describe his political philosophy? Because like Akinrogu said a while ago, when IBP came out in 2011, he stood by IBP. And then former Vice President Atiku came out, he stood by him. Somebody was say, on whose side really was he? And it's similar to what Shola just asked you. SDP, PDP, and he was still together with you.
I think if you are looking for one asset that have invested in strengthening our democracy, you cannot minus Remo Ezomo. You cannot minus him. He have invested everything humanly possible to strengthen our democratic system. He mentioned about third term. We fought that term to stand still together. We make sure we frustrated it from happening in order to keep the sanity of our constitution. And then, when you look at his philosophy, his belief, and what he goes for wholeheartedly, if he believes in you, if Remo believes you have a capacity to deliver, he will not look at your weakness at all. He will go after that strength and push it and fight it all through. He give all his loyalty to it. During the IBB's campaign, being the DJ of the campaign, he gave everything in that campaign. I was the head of contact and mobilization nationwide. We worked together very closely. We were very innovative. It was quite a challenging moment because he was arrested by DSS and so on and so forth. The campaign was determined to be destabilized because we were a major force. We were a major threat to the government then. We went through a lot of challenges, and his resilience, even when SSS arrested him and charged him with so many funny things, the campaign was almost to be charged by the bombing in the Eagle Square. So, he have never deterred. He had never allowed himself to be subdued, by instrument of government and so on and so forth. So he believed in something at a time and he goes for it. For instance, we differed on the issue of PDP. For me, I felt like we have over-invested our time, resources in PDP. It wasn't working. I told him, look, I'm no longer going to be in PDP. I will move out of PDP. Let's move together. Initially, we've been part of all PDP committee or reform. What do we do to reform the party? Virtually everything failed. I told him, look, I'm moving. And then later, we agreed to form another party. But it wasn't forthcoming. It's not easy to form a political party. And for him, he decided to remain in PDP. For me, I said, look, I cannot remain in PDP. I was part of those who formed PDP from G7. when my late boss, late Alajo Bakarimi, invited the G7, from G7, G18 to G34. So nobody would tell me the history of PDP, how PDP was formed. And that was it. So in terms of democracy, really the country needs to, find a very loud or very, how do I put it, to name after him. It is
immortalized.
He needs to be immortalized. I've said it in my tribute. It's one man that needs to be immortalized.
So too, and I remember Chief Olabode George asking for the same.
The entire National Assembly then rely on him for killing time. Senator Ben Obi and co, the meeting morning and night and everything, strategizing, trying to dislodge the president, then Obasanjo from all antics, money moving, all sort of things. It takes brave people who believe in the democracy to fight it all through, to strengthen it, to keep it alive. He fought. The presidency in 1999, President Obasanjo. So, how the system is, a lot of difficult journeys, even trying to demolish AI, what we went through here, bulldozers were sent. And today the whole nation is benefiting from what he has invented, his creativity, his gift of nature, his talent. He invested it, the manpower he has trained for the country. If everybody can invest, like he has mentioned, domestically here, I think Nigeria will be a great country. We have a lot of potentials who people believe in the country, are committed to the country. So there's a limit, it's a limitless thing for you to say this is what Raymond have achieved so far. He have achieved so much, and that is why you see thousands of people trooping in, paying their tribute to him. He's a hero, and he died as a hero. And they have left a legacy that will continue to benefit from.
So pictures there on your screen, the procession from the home to the venue of the funeral service. That's the
St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. Okay, yeah, that's the venue of the. Well, first of all, the funeral service will hold at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church there in Agenebode. So we'll bring more pictures, live pictures from Agenebode to you on the program. So let me just quickly get back to Akinrogbalaba Yusuf. The area of media empowerment, media development. Not too long ago, less than a year ago, High Chief, or 2 years ago rather, 2011, High Chief led a couple of enthusiasts, people who believe that the media's right must be preserved in the current dispensation. And they went to various embassies talking about why some particular proposed legislation should not see the light of day. I know why I'm bringing all of this up, because at close quarters we saw him say, no, I'm a marine engineer, but I've invested in democracy, and one of the life wires of democracy is a free press. Can you relate to that, tying it to what happens in the UK where you live for so many years?
Thank you, Shola. Before that, there is a paradox in the High Chief's situation, which is different from the usual Nigerian thing. He will never, at any given opportunity, he will tell you, former head of state Obasanjo brought him to Nigeria. But same Obasanjo was the one that was going for third term that he went against. The usual thing here is that once somebody is your boss, it's always your boss. So the boss can never go wrong. But that's not him. He will let you see the reason why you should not do what you want to do. But if you go ahead to do it, you object. Coming to the media angle of it, the High Chief coming to IBB, the military government, asking for liberalization of the media space was like, taking yourself to the den of a lion. Because what's military if it's not dictatorship? What's military if you are talking about free speech, freedom of expression? The military is about, Oga says, obey the last order, kind of. But he was able to persuade, like even His Excellency Peter Obi made a reference that the High Chief had the power of persuasion. He had a way, the ECC, engagement, conversion, and convincing and conversion, that he made his bank, Fidelity Bank, to invest, to lend money into media, which he had never done before. He said, but once the man speaks with you, you'll be convinced about his ideas. Now, he made himself the guinea pig, according to one of the head of states, I think IBB. And being the guinea pig, he was, like I said, he was like a sailor, a pioneer sailor, without navigational compass. He charted the waves by himself. There was no broadcasting organization of Nigeria then. There was no law on private broadcasting. There was no law. It was like the law, or anything that goes wrong, something will be put there. Next time it will not happen. But it was the guinea pig. It's like when they're testing drugs. I'm talking about medicine now.
Yeah. Yes.
So people that submit themselves for trial. That's what he did. And in many ways, and that's why you see the power of conviction. That's one thing I picked from his last statement, one of his last statements. And they talk about what does he say about the future of DAAR communications. I think between Ohialegbe and
Dayo.
No, Sheung.
Okay.
Alagoju. He said, well, the future is no longer his. That he has handed over almost 10 years ago. And that, but it is difficult for other people to see the vision that you see. So, but you have to do your own bit and handle it. So that was a smart person. So all the issue about the laws and the rest, it was the law. Because his mistakes became the law. Or the things that were happening, his victories became the law. Because everything was done. Because we live in a society, a patriarchal society, where you say elders have spoken, nobody should talk, or government has spoken. Just imagine if we had to rely on what's the problem that people are having in Russia and other places, or communist system.
And you could say something for his tenacity, because even under the Abacha government, he persisted, and the license came out under the Abacha government.
He said Abacha made him more than any other person. In terms of that Abacha listened to his radio in Lagos and said he should be called. I said, go into TV. He never planned TV initially.
Well, give credit to
I see something interesting.
Of course.
I'm looking at the motorcade now, and I see something interesting. Right beside the car is his chief security officer, Obas, and he's still guarding his boss right to the church for the funeral service. You talk about loyalty, and High Chief had quite a lot of that, and a lot of people are loyal to him. I use the word "are" because even in death, people are still loyal because he made them who they are today. God used him.
Obaseki has been with us all through, very committed, very loyal police officer. If all the police can be loyal to their boss, I don't think we'll have some of these issues. I would also make reference to his drivers, Rashid and others, who drive us throughout day and night. Sometimes we will not eat, we will not be hungry, but you will never see Rashid's eyes closing down. His eyes are always on the road. Let me give credence to really what the military regime of Abacha have done through General Jeremiah Husseini, because he stated it himself. Jeremiah narrated how he got the license convincing Abacha to give High Chief Raymond Dapasi, which they are very proud of today. Is the asset base of the country, first independent broadcast organization in Nigeria. Leadership is about being, exhibiting that sense of humanity. People differed with so many ways. leaders those things, but they have their own credit. They have their own system of promoting the system. Just like when you talk about liberalization of the economy, the privatization and this thing during Babangida's regime opened the economy of Nigeria, started from that period. So every period you have something you can talk about. But like I've mentioned, there is no single media station in Nigeria that have invested in our democracy, strengthening our democracy, strengthening the opposition, including the labor union, including people who have different voices. Yeah. He will give them the space without paying any. His son, Raymond, to take over, I believe at that period we were so busy moving up and down, and then there was this conversation. I really encourage, I said, look, transmit this power to Junior. Let him build himself through the system for a long period of time. And we strongly believe then that being someone who have established one of the biggest media stations, you should also have a political backup to back the enterprise.
Yeah,
so
I think we should.
Something that's worth celebrating, really. Raymond physically is dead, but you can't take away his presence.
He lives on, actually.
Thank you very much, Haji Gedam. We'll just go over to Agenebode now. Let's take some sights and sounds of what's going on there. All right, we are trying to get clearer sound there, even as you watch the motorcade, the procession to the church that's in Agenebode for the funeral service before the interment of High Chief Alewo Aleogena Dopasi. And as soon as we establish more sound, we'll be able to bring you clearer what is going there. The funeral service is expected to start any moment as soon as the procession gets to the church. All right, we still have Aji Arba Gedam here and Akinrogun Alaba Yusuf, who were talking about the man, his tenacity, his resilience, his go-all strength, because I wouldn't say attitude, and I think it supersedes attitude. His go-all strength, whatever he envisioned, whatever he dreamt, he went all out to get it. Stella.
Thank you very much. You see, the High Chief, his life encapsulates what you call, the dictum, where you say the cumulative attitude of a man. We're extracting from the multitude and place him on a high altitude. The High Chief did so many things that you can call them extraordinary. Most deities were usually human beings, but when they move from the ordinary to the extraordinary, to supernatural, we now call them deity, because we just look, how can I have done this? How could I have done this? Because I was discussing with my friend, Toshonaya. Today you have female radio, women radio. I was like, what? How? But how would Toyin have done that without the High Chief?
Atom was a product of
I know.
a raper.
I knew. When she was with Choice FM in UK, I knew her. She was, we were together in Ovation. She was a columnist in my magazine in the past. So even Madame Tosin, we're all friends. So what I'm saying essentially is that a man who just allowed people to do things, but he was a great monitor. He would shout, he would do anything. He was an embodiment of ideas. And he was not one man that wants to be, you can call him a godfather or king of boys, but at the same time, he knew the intricacies. He provides the ingredients for you to, he gives you the wind, for your wings for you to fly. At his last birthday, I was there. And his speech, it was like a valedictory statement being made. Say nobody gave him the opportunity to live up to 30. That he was not talking before the age of 12 or something like that. He has faced so many, whatever, he was poisoning, was everything. So, and he danced. And he appreciates the littlest of, but don't ignore it. That was what Raymond Dekwesi, the diamond from Agenebode stood for.
Well, a moment to still reflect and introspect about the life and times of a great man. So we've been giving you pictures, live footage of what's happening. Yeah, you can see that big billboard behind the motorcade there. The whole town is, I won't say they're in mourning, but they will be missing a very
They're all
great man.
out for him today.
Yes, people decked out in their best. Those who are wearing the Ashwebi, I think that's what you're wearing, Uju, in the studio as well.
Yes, I can see Obas wearing it. I can see one of his drivers too beside Obas wearing the same dress. Which we could have a clearer view of that. There's also a lady behind him wearing it.
This is my own.
Yes, that's another Ashwebi. In fact, there are so many of them. Everybody wanted to do something, to identify with him.
Correct.
If even in their own way of remembering him afterwards, people wanted to do things.
So very soon, I'm sure the motorcade and the procession will get to the church where the service will hold, the Sacred Heart Church there in Agenebode.
Sacred Heart Catholic
Church, yes. And many dignitaries are already in Agenebode, I tell you. I'm sure we'll be seeing many of them from all walks of life, and also at the interment in his compound, and not too long from now. It's a day of celebration. That's the way I would talk today, a day of celebration.
Well, for some, it's a celebration with pain in the heart.
Right.
We're human. Celebration with pain in the heart. You're missing him so much, wishing God, can't this just go away? It's not true, but reality hits you and it's like, oh God, this man is actually going. In fact, I think it's when he will be lowered that some people would really believe it. Some people are still wishing that it isn't true, even at this stage. But again, that's because of the kind of person he was. He was almost larger than life. And so it's difficult for people to believe that such a man could go down. But again, only God remains God and only God remains immortal.
You cannot take away the pains of death. It is extremely very painful. You cannot explain it. You cannot imagine it. Losing your loved ones, losing husbands, losing father, mother, children is extremely very painful. The family will find it extremely very difficult to come to terms with reality. You know, the timing of the date, he's doing well, he has recovered, he's in high spirit, and it was a sudden death. It's quite very painful indeed.
Yes, very, very
painful. But they have to believe that there's a life and there's a death, and they should be consoled by the fact that the man have achieved a lot. He's an elephant. It's being celebrated. One thing console family if the head did well, and it's being celebrated all over the place. Just the way we're mentioning his achievements, what he has done so far, the transformation he has brought on board, not just in his household, but nationally and internationally. I could remember when the IT equipment were shipped from US to Nigeria, were escorted by US Navy down to Nigeria. That's how important it is, because they were not sure what it is. You know, they couldn't believe that there's an African country that developed that capacity to bring those kind of technology. Sophistication, yeah, in Nigeria. AIT have all it takes to transmit, even inside a grave, a deep hole. They have all the equipment that it takes. The professionalism there. He has trained a lot of people that are big stars in the media
I
world.
remember when RAPA started, some people just came to RAPA, to the studio, just to look at the equipment. It had such equipment had never been seen in the country before then. It was a real novelty at that time. And some people said, look, we just want to see this. The fellow broadcasters were coming just to see, because the best at that time was probably Radio Nigeria 245 Martin Street.
Radio Nigeria.
It was the best FM then. And Radio Nigeria didn't have things like, I think he even brought a fresh challenge, because after that, other stations, even the government stations, started trying to meet up.
And 30 years on, still setting the pace in terms of the quality of equipment.
You
know, regularly going to the American broadcasters show in Las Vegas to check up on latest equipment to get them imported in. And that's why, you know, like Akirogu said, this studio shows that, look, the vision is still there to be the leader.
Bigger than CNN and all studios. This studio is bigger. It's massive. You can see the...
Go to BBC, what is it?
It's just massive.
Because this is 2023, isn't it?
Yes, 2023.
This is exactly 20 years that was on AIT in Alagbado.
Yeah.
And I just came to the country. So, you see, a man who just allows you that, I was publishing a magazine, quite new, but it was about celebrities and personalities that are into charitable activities. And I explained to himself, put him on air. That was it. Later I told him that, sir, I would love to do a TV program of this. See, I will have given you free air if only I can convince AfriSat to give me free. You know, that was kind of person that blunt.
And at the end of the day, he will still give it to you.
Encouraging. You know, so the fact remains that it is sad that he's gone, but nobody will live forever. But with that, what is that in full meaning? Dr. C. Anthony Aleo Raymond. So, nothing can be more than that. And we have Ray power, the power of Ray, to go anywhere, like the prison. He has so many angles to him. He has touched life. He came, he saw, he conquered. But he did not only conquer, he has also encouraged other people to,
conquer.
Yeah, because when he used the ace of life, he accelerated, he consolidated, and expanded. So, and everyone here that he has touched their lives, they'll continue with the expansion program. So, but each person must go back into himself or herself. How many people can you influence? What will you do to immortalize yourself in terms of good deeds? Anybody that dies and is forgotten is somebody who has no legacy. Dr. C was an embodiment of so many things.
So much impact.
Yes, in politics, in the media. Look, at 26, he already had a PhD. And he went ahead to do a DSc. So you should know that he had insatiable appetite. That's why people call him slave driver. Because he would never tolerate anybody.
And he was hyperactive.
That's what I'm talking about.
Always on the move.
That's why
on
people they call him slave driver, because people could not meet his space. If you are lazy, you can't be around him. That's the bottom line. He doesn't call his meetings early. So if you are the type that sleeps early, forget it.
I'm just imagining the cruising we had, driving from here to Lagos to Maiduguri to Sokoto, all by roads. All by roads. We'll be sleeping in the car, we'll wake up, we'll be talking about things, we'll be arguing, we'll be gisting just to create fun, you know. He has gone through a lot of turbulence as well. He survived them. Even the court case eventually has been cleaned up. He died as a very clean man of all the allegations leveled against him. He died as a fulfilled man.
And that,
you know,
listening to you, I mean, that was a very, very fearless person.
Yeah.
I mean, traveling by road at a time when you could talk about insecurity.
I'm telling you, with everywhere we went by road, we hardly go by flight, except if it is something that we cannot meet up by road. But we go by, you know, on the road, perpetually on the road. It wasn't an easy thing at all. And it is all in the national interest, not personal. All. It's either one national assignment or the other. From one to the other, making things to happen.
Always for the nation, always for people.
Always, consistently, you know. If the nation could sit down, or the actors could sit down and review what he has done, what he has injected into the system, that should be done to encourage others to do it. Because that's the only way you can encourage people to do the right thing. After going through a lot of NBC rules, you know, sanctioning, we were there together. You know, he challenged it, he fought it all through. So he fight for a lot of injustices all over the country. History should record him as somebody who has done extremely very well at his lifetime. And like I said, the family and all of us should be very, very proud of him indeed. You can differ with him. I normally differ with him on issues. Whenever we sat down together, I would always say, no, this cannot happen, this will not happen. We'll disagree heavily. And then within a short period of time, we will say, you rascal, you know, come back.
I say, kitchen. If there's food there, bring. Get us some drinks.
When they see me for a while, he will look for where you come, you know. So we are known to one another very closely. That's why I say the relationship is beyond politics. We have built family relationship. I know all the families, and he's a very wonderful father, very lovely father. And he gives his children the best, and he did not allow them to believe that, okay, he has achieved whatever achieved. He always encouraged them also go and strike and achieve something.
That there is more out there than
there's more out there. This is the kind of legacy he will do for others, but he will tell his children, fight and get your own. You know, I know a couple of times that a lot of things have happened. He's a great man.
You know, we're talking about his achievements, and we say, for us who are left now, it is for us to make sure that we keep his dreams, his visions alive, and then to also go beyond and make more impact like he has made that. The onus is on us, because the essence of a disciple is being able to be like your master and possibly surpass your master. Now, let's look at that great quality that made him to stand out, and while he has become an issue of discussion, fearlessness. Somebody said, even when he wanted to take this place, they said, oh, it was some kind of, even the seemingly impossible ones.
But you see, it's part of the thing I'm talking about. When you live within a culture, outside your own restriction, where you see what is happening in Ukraine today, you see what is happening, you see Poland, Eastern Europe, that spirit, the doggedness, you could see it in him. Africans have a way of suppressing themselves by not allowing the young ones to talk. Go to, when you watch football, you see kids to come to the field. What are they trying to
Carry
say?
their balls for them.
Like they say in Yoruba land, that any deity that the priest does not take his children to go and appease will die after the priest dies. Because nobody will know the secret. Most of our medicines in Africa, whatever we know, we don't write them down. We don't. They will tell you, no, kids are not to know, young people are not supposed to know that kind of thing. And a society without culture will not be able to nurture a future. Your science will die. Your philosophy of life will die. The idea you're talking about is ability to unify people. Comes from his being detribalized, being non-religious. He had a faith, but he was not particular saying, because I'm a Catholic, I will not accommodate Baptists, I will not accommodate Muslims.
He fasted with Muslims.
Yes, sir. So
Every
that is,
fasting, we fast
so
together.
this is what we're talking about. How many people can do that now? People will tell you, you are indigenous, you are settler, you are this, you are Igbo, you are Yoruba, you are this. You know, these are the things inhibiting us until we take away such prohibitions. Self-inflicted anyway. Until we take them away, we won't be able to unify people. Because the man does not believe, he just wants, you know, like he said, no other person could see can see your vision with you. I think, and he has a way of paying respect to those who respect was due. You know, he mentioned Ladilawa, the late Ladilawa. So it was one man
that understood his vision.
Yes. You know, another person will say, my son understands me. No, he didn't say so. He said, but I wish them the best, the young generation. He said, but there's one guy that knew what I knew, that was seeing what I saw. Ladilawa. The man passed away many, many years ago. So that was
going to
the high
15
chief
years
for you.
now.
Yes, that was the high chief for you because he remembers the good. See, a man is just a person. But a man who does not believe in charity can never be human. It's not every man that is human. He was a human. He was obeying. He was humane.
Let me add this. The kind of energy and dedication and commitment he puts in driving the campaign of former President Atiku, Vice President Atiku Abubakar is uncommon. He took it as his personal project. He visited virtually everywhere, all the state of the Federation, trying to convince everybody that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is the man to beat. You know, trying to unify it, even at a time when the pressure is that the presidency should go to the south. He went off the coast and championed the cause of competence, capacity, you know, in terms of producing a presidential candidate. I have not seen anyone in that campaign organization that have done what he has done. There is none, because I know virtually all the actors. I was part of it. I was former Deputy Director General of Atiku Campaign Organization when Senator Ben Obi was the DG.
That was in 2019.
Yes, I was part of the whole stretch. So, and I know what we have done to strengthen that fundamental pillar. You know, he committed himself, he over-committed himself, you know, to that project. It is unfortunate that couldn't realize the dream of seeing Atiku as the president of Nigeria, but I think they owe him a lot of gratitude. The kind of sagacity, the energy that he invested into their campaign, it should remain indelible in the history of Atiku Abubakar. You know, it's one of the most organized campaign, viciously pursued, you know, with that deep conviction that we will win, despite the destruction in the PDP and so on and so forth. He remained very dogged, and he went to those who disagreed with the former President Atiku, Vice President Atiku Abubakar. He visited them at home, trying to persuade them to come on board, work together as a team. You know, me and him spoke at length. At the time when I came here, I entered, I said, you refused to come. I said, look, I'm not coming. You know, do your own, I will do my own. At the end of the day, we'll celebrate together. So that's it. He put everything that he needed to put, despite the distractions within that campaign organization. He remained very committed to it in the last minute. That is the kind of man with a strong character, with consistency, with the definition of what he wants to achieve.
And of course, the humane part of him is something that is a common knowledge. I mean, you have mentioned it, a whole lot of people have mentioned it over and over. Remember the woman known as Iyoloja, Ama Felicia. Ama Felicia told us, and said, in February this year, High Chief came to my house. And I was surprised, the High Chief coming to my house at Otako. I said, yes, I came to find out you'll be 86 years this year, on the 22nd of July. He remembered the date, he remembered. He said he remembered my birthday. He remembered how old I would be, as busy as this man was with all the responsibilities for him. And he went to confirm, he said, okay, all the drinks, all the food for your birthday will be on me. And she started crying, said, who will celebrate my birthday for me again? Another young man said, this leg that you're seeing, they are artificial legs. Said, Hi Chief, I never knew him from Adam. He came. Somebody directed me to him. I went to him, and he went to Germany. He bought these artificial legs for me from Germany. So stories abound, even amongst us staff. That's why you see, we are not mourning a boss, a staff, a relationship. We're mourning a father, a friend, a confidant.
A mentor.
We could discuss anything with him. And that was one thing that really stood him out. I'm sure you had such experience with him too.
Yes, you see, the High Chief, I said it. I still have a bottle of champagne from his last birthday in my house. I was waiting for a major event to open it. But the day has never come. And I don't think that champagne will be drunk. Everybody will drink it because I just will keep it. I'll be looking at it.
But you drink it one day.
No, I'm not a champagne
Your
person.
birthday?
No.
Wedding anniversary?
No, I won't. I'll just keep it, and in memory of him, I'll just keep it.
Even the AIT, if you look at his campaign of people that are sick, that are looking for the corporate social responsibility.
The corporate social responsibility.
You know, it's part of his
fund for needy,
for needy, and so on and so forth. There are many. For me, who is used to him, we are so fond of one another. You know, I can tell you much about his humanity. He's a very simple, very sociable somebody. You wine and dine with him. You know, he is my senior by age, but he takes me like his age mate. We talk with my confidant. We discuss. We play together. A lot of things. You know, down to earth, very humble, very frank, very decisive. You can disagree with him, like I've always said. You can debate on issues from morning till night. I will maintain my territory, he will maintain his territory.
That's what people would call his ginger. Yes. Just put a debate
down
and so, it is all.
You stand up, you say, I disagree, you need to tell me you are wrong, you are this. Say,
okay. He gave an opening for people to have their own views on issues.
Exactly.
Come with your arguments.
Yes.
If it's in broadcasting, if it's in politics,
it's
humanities,
anything.
Industry, anything.
He just wants you to say, okay, let me know what you think about this.
Yes.
And if he thinks your viewpoints are not solid, he will use a particular Yoruba word, olodo. Olodo.
Yesterday I was watching one of my friends from Ben TV.
Alistair.
No, Tunde Alabi.
Okay. Oh, okay. Who's about coordinator news operations now in the AIT?
Yes, I know. And he was talking about how the High Chief brought him to Nigeria. I said, he has not been to Nigeria in almost 2 or 3 decades. How will he come and fit in? He said, just come. Just come. And that he made Nigeria comfortable for him. He provided housing, we provided a car for him, and gave him a job. And he reminded him how Papa Sojo brought him to Nigeria. So that was high chief for you. But all I'm talking about is that Nigeria as a country, we as a people, from families, you talk about Jakpa now. Why are people Jakpa? It's because the place is not conducive. But do not go against, encourage them, even those that want to go away. Let them go there, tap. I give you one thing. The Chinese, they send their best students, they send them abroad, to America, to UK, to the best schools. Why is it?
You can see the choir setting the tone for the funeral service. So any moment from now, we will be joining Agenabode for the funeral service at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church. People are already seated. You can see some of his wives. That's Chief Tosin Dopasi, Chief Mojishala Dopasi, and you can see the priests taking their place now. Service has started in Agenabode, and so would like to thank Haji Gabam for coming this morning to share memories of the great man, the Colossus, the Ezomo of Power.
The body of High Chief Alehu Dokpesi. Stay tuned.
May we kindly resume our seats. Thank you very much, choir. Let's resume our seats. We'd like to call on the parish administrator of Secretariat Parish to play. We have the priest here for a message. Let us rise, please. Choir, continue. Choir, please kindly continue with the songs. First, the rest of us, we can humbly resume our seats. The choir will continue with the hymns. Thank you very much. Resume your seats.
Deus, Deus in Zion. Et tibi rede tu rotumi Jerusalem. Exaudi oratione meam, ad te omnis caro